Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to be focused on teaching you how to achieve the styles on this dress. So with me here, I have my pattern papers I already cut out, and I have a very detailed video where I shared how to get these patterns to be contoured on the body. I'll link them up in this video so that you can watch them in case you've not. So I really just went ahead to place it on this fabric, and as you can see, the fabric is on a fold, and I also have the lining because I'll be cutting everything at once. So I'll place everything and cut at the same time. So only the center front is going to be on a fold. Every other part is going to come out in pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead now and pin up this papers and so that I can start cutting them. So because of the fact that when I was drafting these patterns, I did not add 1/2 inch allowance to join the princess line area, I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch on the parts where I'll be having a joining. So in case you've done this already on your pattern, you do not need to do that again when you are cutting yours. So I just did this, and I'll go ahead to cut out all these pieces now. So after cutting them, this is what they look like now. And what I'm just going to do is to bring an old pattern that has the same dimensions, and I'll just extend the lines. The main lines I'll be working with, like the waist line, the under bust line, and the bust line, so that I can create notches on this fabric. So when you're sewing and you create these notches, it really helps because it helps you to align them when you're joining all the other pieces. So I'm just creating some notches on this line so that I can use them when I'm joining them together. For example, you can see how the front side and the back sides align because of those notches. You can see that. So these are the reasons for these notches, so that when I'm joining, I will know that I'm taking the accurate measurements on the parts I'm supposed to take them on. So once this is done, this is what we should have, because I'll align the bust area, align the under bust area so that it meets at the right point like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take out the chantilly lace. This fabric is called chantilly. It's a lace, it's a kind of light lace, and I'll be attaching it to all the front bodices like this. So I'll place these patterns, these fabrics I just cut out, and I also cut these pieces of chantilly to attach them on the main bodies of the front. So after cutting, this is what it looks like, and I'm going to place it on all the pieces. Like these pieces now will have 2 of that. Then the center front, which I told you is on a fold, will be cut out on a fold as well. So I'll place it like this, and I'll go to my machine and I'm going to stitch it around. So this is the yoke, the upper part where we have the yoke, and your chantilly sometimes stretches. You just need to find out the part that stretches and make sure you are putting the length on the stretchy part. So I placed this and I cut out 2 pieces of this net. So at first I made the mistake of cutting just 1 piece, but later I saw how light it was. I had to change it to 2 pieces because that wouldn't have worked out fine for me. So except you are working with a thick lace, that's the only time when you don't double the yoke part. But in this case, this is chantilly and it is super light, so I had to double it. Okay, so this is the center part chantilly. So I'm going to place it on the fabric like this, and if you have a black hemming tape, in this case I did not have a black hemming tape, so I couldn't use white, because when I use white on black, it's going to leave some stains that you might not like. So if you have black and you're working with black, make sure you use it instead of going to stitch around. But I had to stitch around because that was the only way out for me. I didn't have a black hemming tape. So after doing this, now I now padded the bustier just as you would normally do. I padded the bustier first before I now attached the 3 pieces together to form the front bodice. So this was me taking the measurements to cut out the cotton stay that I used to pad this blouse, this upper part. But I'm not going to show all that here because the focus of this video is on the designs we have on the front. So once that was done, I brought down the yoke and I placed it right side facing right side, of course. And then I pinned the center point, and I'm going to stitch one part across and then the other part as well. So this is an easy way to do this when you're working with a deep V neckline. So you simply sew one side from the center, then you start again from that center point to the other side of the fabric. So once this was done, I simply took the center point of the front bodice like this so that I can now place the bias that you saw in the beginning of this video. I also ruled a line across that center line so that it will guide me. So this is what we have here. The yoke has been attached, and I'll just bring out my bias and I'll cut out, leaving some extra. When you're sewing, it's better to even have excess than you have it less. So anything you're cutting, just try and add some extra so that you'll be on the safe side. So we'll have some bias going across like this, and as you can see, I cut out with some extra attached, not exactly. So I'll go ahead and pin these things up, and then I'll go and stitch them on my machine. When you're doing this, you just need to be careful. Just pin it up correctly so that there's no part that is gaping. So I simply went ahead to cut out the lower part of this dress, which I would not be sharing so much details because I'll have a video coming up just after this one showing you how to cut a contoured skirt and a lower bodice in general. If you'd like to see this, it's very important you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell so that you're the first to see that video when I upload it. So I'm just going to rush through this part because I already have a detailed video coming up on this lower part. Okay, so I contoured the down of this dress, I cut it out, and then I brought it to attach to the upper part like this. So one other thing you would have noticed is that we had lace on the lower part of this dress. So this is just one side, it's on one side of the skirt. So as the skirt is folded, I just placed that skirt part and I cut out the lace, just a single piece, and then I placed it like this on the skirt. So once I did this, I pinned this up. Like I said, if you have a black hemming tape, you can use it, but I had only white, so I couldn't use it. I went to stitch this all around the fabric to keep it in place. So when you're working with chantilly lace, it tends to stretch a bit, so don't stretch it while you sew. Just place it on it correctly and just stitch. So after attaching the lace to the lower part, this is what it looked like. I also stitched down the bias on the skirt part as well. Then this is what it looks like. So one thing you need to take note of is the fact that all this was done before attaching the lining. So can you see this? The skirt had no lining at this point, and the top part had no lining as well, because we do not want all those stitch lines showing on the lining area. So it's now I'll take my lining piece and I'll turn over the lower part. Then I'll also turn over the upper part of the dress. So simply bend over the yoke inside before you place the lining, right sides facing the right sides. Then you turn it over and you have something that looks like this. So once that's done, I'll also turn the lining of the skirt part, and then after that would pipe the neckline so that we can cover all those lines that we have at the neckline area. So how to do this now is to simply place the bias, the right side facing the wrong side of the net, then you stitch it, then you turn it over and then top stitch like this, and this is how you get the top part, the neckline, looking the way it looked in the beginning of this video. So guys, after doing the neckline, I just had to attach this clip where I joined the upper part and the lower part together. I just pinned them up together like this, making sure that the bias looks as if it is straight from the top to the bottom of the dress. Just place it correctly, pin it up, then you stitch the way you'd normally join the upper part and the lower part. And that is all about this design. If you learned anything new, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you in my next video where I'll be sharing how to make a contoured skirt.